line. We are in the 8th line down. One is allowed to do incantations on eyes, which have on an eye. You know, your eye is you have an eye ache, or whatever. Or for your stomach ache, or for snakes and scorpions. One is allowed to pass over salves or salve or ointment on the eye on Shabbos. Meister Rabbi Akiva is a Meister Rabbi Akiva shechazto ayin. His eye, he had some sort of seizure in his eye. For every love came on Shabbos, they put on him this cold compresses on Shabbos for the purpose of his eye. Okay, now switching a subtle switch here. Rav and the Rabbi Chia the great Tarvei and Armin, they both said Tisha Mason by ayin. 99 people die because of ayin hara. And one dies in the hands of heaven. In other words, 99 people die not because of their destiny or their time is up, but because other people have looked at them askance and cast a hex against them as a result. Right? It's in the Bavliya. Here it brings down inside Bamitzia. Right? They both said Tzadik test. Now this is not in the Bavli, but it's similar. We have a similar concept of Bavli. Tzadik test, Mason Benzina, 99 people die from cold. One is the hands of heaven. That's what it is. So the Bible says everything is the hands of heaven except for cold and heat.
You know, there's some cold in Australia now that died.
It's a picture in the Times this day of a soldier who killed over.
The soldier killed over.
All right.
But a woman actually died in the cold.
What's the significance about the number 99?
99 out of 100. 99%. That's all. That's not. I don't think there's any major significance here. It's obviously an exaggeration. Rav Markadaite, Rav China Markadaite. Now, what's interesting is Rav said it has to do with Sinai. Rav Chanina said it has to do with cold. Interesting how the Yerushalmi categorized them. Rav, and Rav, because he was in Bavel, the Ein of the Bishra Shchicha, where there's a lot of Ein Hara, Talmud there. Have Omer, he said, Saitis Mesim Be'ena, that 99 people died because of Ein Hara, right? Vechad and one B'Bidei Shemayim. Rabbi Chanina, to have a Shrai B'Tziporim, Rabbi Chanina, who was dwelling in Tzipori, which I hope to see in the next within the next month. The Tzinosa Taman, not the next month, 5 weeks. We're going to Israel at first, and then the Tzinosa Taman, where there's a lot of cold, right? Because it's in the north, it's in the Galil. He didn't even know how cold it was. He didn't live in Chicago, but it was cold there, relatively speaking. So I have a summary. He said, Tisha Matisha Mason Betsina, 99 people die in the cold, one in the hands of heaven.
Determine how far Tzipori really is. Those digs are from Tveria.
From Tveria, yeah. That's a good point. Rishmov Nachman. B'Shei Rabbi Yehuda said, Tisha Matisha Mason Sharov. Mamish in Yana Diyayma. 99 people die in heat waves. One dies in the hands of heaven. Okay? For Abbaran Amrei, Tisha Mason, B'Shia, 99 people die out of excesses. B'Shia literally means negligence, but here means excesses in eating and drinking, in relations. The Carbonate says, in all sorts of inappropriate behavior. Smoking, things like that. One in the hands of heaven. Rabbi Chunia Yaakov Me'Efrosayim. Rabbi Chunia, who was Rabbi Yaakov, or Rabbi Chunia and Rabbi Yaakov from Ephraim, it's not clear exactly what the Girsa is here. B'Shem Rabbi said his name Rabbi. Ve'Yisir Hashem Yimchako Choli, God remove you any illness. Zu Sreifa. This is fever. Sreifa meaning heat. Rabbi Chuna V'Tani Lo B'Shem Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov said, Hashem will take away from you all illness. Zu Ra'ayon. A fascinating concept. Literally means idea, but here it means paranoid thought, melancholy, paranoid thoughts, things like the paranoia, things like that. So Hashem will take away from you mental disease. Rabbi Elazar says, he will place a yoke of metal on your neck. Zerayon, that is melancholy and paranoia. Rabbi Rabbi Yahweh said, "V'sir Hashem imcha kol choli." Hashem will take from you any illness. Zay Yitzhar, this way about the Yitzhar, Shirosho Mosok, that initially it seems to be sweet, but so far marb, and in the end it's bitter for the individual. Right, then Rabbi Menachem Hashem Rav, both said, "V'yisir Hashem imcha kol choli." Hashem will take away from you any illness. Zay Amora, that is bile. Dam Rabbi Lozer said, "Tishim v'tishim meisim b'mora." 99 people die as a result of bile attacks. And one in the hands of heaven. Okay, back to Hilchos Shabbos.
It seems like we're the masters of our own destiny. We control our...
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, to a limited extent, but eventually everybody will die from some reason. Right. Yes, but it seems quite clear that death is very, very often in one's own hands as opposed to something meted out from Shemayim. That's what seems clear from here. Yeah. Well, we had a Kobe Dish, to much lesser extent. But the truth is that, that would also be in line with the distinction the Yerushalmi itself just made. That in Bavo they are much more, superstitious and I assume mystically oriented, so you would not expect to find that there. Whereas in the Yerushalmi they're much more practical and down to earth. Okay? It says more, on Shabbos, you're allowed to wash off in the Mediterranean, and in the Kinneret. Even though your intent is to heal yourself in some way, shape, or form, because it looks like you're doing it for the purpose of bathing. But not in water in which flax has been soaked, which is vile. Nor in the waters of the Yam HaMelach. Why? Because Amos, when is it true? Because Machum is when he has a mind to go there because he's ill and he needs the therapeutic benefit of the minerals or the waters. So then he can't go down on Shabbos because it looks like, or it's a quasi refuah. But if Hitaka is going down even to these waters for the purpose of being Matar himself, then it's permissible to go down on Shabbos. Omer Rabbi Shua said, Omer Shua Achoid Rabbi Brechi, or Shmuel the brother of Rabbi Brechi said, Uvach lo yisha, as long as he does not tarry there. Right? Okay, it's possible that even, I just thought it's a mistake in Girso. Perhaps even it should be Shalo Yishche. Yishche meaning you shouldn't swim. Right? Because we have the nose of Zera not to swim on Shabbos. Moran Beitza says that. What? Well, we haven't seen the Yerushalmi, but the Bible says because there's a Zera that you might heat up the water on Shabbos. Without you, theoretically, she must have Rabbanan made it forbidden. Okay? It says in Maritani, we learned. Rabbi Sachin Alinti l'chol b'Shabbos. You're allowed to put on a sick person a compress made out of alintin, which the Kormeida brings down is wine with peppers and all sorts of other good stuff. So you're allowed to use this compresses on Shabbos if they're prepared from before Shabbos. I believe lotor from Shabbos, you weren't prepared from before Shabbos, also they're forbidden. Amar Shul ben Elazar. Matir Rameir litrof yain v'shemen. Rameir permitted mixing wine and oil, the lasuch l'chole, and anointing an ill person with them on Shabbos. However, which is really the same thing as alontis. Did I skip before? No? Okay. However, Rameir got sick once, and wanted to mix her in the wine and the oil. The Lord Niach he didn't allow us. So we said to him, Rabbi Meir, in your own lifetime you're reneging from your opinion? And you said we're allowed to mix it, and now you're not letting us mix it for you. So he said to them, even though I said so myself, I never had the heart. In other words, I never had the courage to transgress the words of my friends, the fellow rabbis, and therefore I'm not prepared to do so, even though technically I'm a Muslim. Okay? Says we have this in Masechta Shabbos. Says the Mishnah further. If somebody who has a problem with his teeth, he may not swallow with them vinegar because it's obvious he's doing it for a bull. But he's allowed to dip his bread in vinegar as he normally does, and eat it. Nisrapi gets healed zot. Nisrape is healed gesundheit. Achoshish b'mosna. Similarly, somebody feels the problem with his hips. Lo yosachayim mechometz, you should not anoint them with oil, with wine, or with vinegar. However, Sacho as a shemen, he's allowed to use oil, which is much less, seems to be much less prevalent in medical use, and therefore doesn't look like medicine. Velo shemen veret, but not rose oil, because that's only for princes. B'nei melachim sakin gam same princes can use for their wounds. They could use shemen veret, rose oil, because they normally use it even on a weekday. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Kol Yisrael b'nei melachim. We pass, of course, on Rabbi Shimon, all Jews are princes, and therefore all Jews are allowed to use the rose oil on Shabbos. Okay? See, it says, something which is bad for you is called like vinegar for the teeth, or and like smoke for the eyes. Here you say that you're supposed to use vinegar for a toothache. How could that be? It says vinegar is bad for teeth. So our mission is talking about with fruit vinegar as opposed to wine vinegar. So fruit vinegar is okay. We can even say that, like our Mishnah, and that vinegar there is kipshuto. It doesn't just mean wine vinegar. So if that's the case, we see why vinegar is damaging. So it says what? So it says the Gemara, tav levishta, it's good for a person who's ill. Uvish l'tavsa, it's ill for a person who's good. When in our Mishnah is talking about a case where a person needs it, and therefore it's good for him. Tani, you should not gargle with vinegar and then spit it out. But you can gargle and then swallow it. Our Mishnah is telling us, or that the Pali Bryce is telling us rather, that you're not allowed to gargle and swallow. The Tina we learned of somebody who feels bad in his teeth, you should not swallow them vinegar. What's the bottom line about this? What's the halacha? Rebbe or Kedivrei HaKol? Does this Mishnah going like Rebbe, or is it going like everybody? Who Rebbe and who everybody is, we'll see in a moment. Says the Gemara in the meantime, off on a tangent, we're talking about a case where a person is wait, maybe I'm going to make a mistake here. No, that carbonated takes out. But I made a mistake one time. The carbonated change.
You can't believe that she's also only with two. Only when there's two that she is doing it's very nice. Even with two, that it has to be that she wasn't. Right.
The Korbaneh throws in the word "o" here. So what he meant to see is like this: Malkadon, Okarebi, Okadivrei HaKol. I still don't see how he throws in the "o." But anyway, it says Begamei Chomet Achatibu. He takes the word Shel Truma. Our Mishnah, if it's going like Divrei HaKol, if it's going like both Rebbe and Rabbanon, let's talk about when you're swallowing, you're gargling the vinegar after you already dipped your bread in it. Now that Gemara is going to say in a minute, it's critical. If Obashem Reyelchan said, "Akosis Chitei Truma," somebody who chews the grain of Truma gets malchus, even though he doesn't consume them and swallow them. He just chews on them and spits them out. So if it's Truma grain, So if it's truma grain, then he gets malchus. Ravo B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan said, "Hamagameh chomet shel truma." Somebody who swallows or gargles vinegar of truma, Loki gets malchus as well. Hagameh chomet shel truma. If somebody swallows the vinegar of truma, Mishayim Misakern, he pays the bitzel vein and Mishayim Misachomish. He doesn't pay the extra fifth as a tax. Why do you suppose he doesn't pay the extra fifth as a tax? Somebody swallows vinegar of truma? Right. He's not getting true anah from it. Right? So therefore, if he's not getting true anah, he doesn't have to pay the chomish. He doesn't pay the extra fifth. So it says Gemara, Rabbi says, Omer anishu mishalin keren v'chomish. This is considered to be sufficiently of a derech that you do pay the extra keren v'chomish. So now, that's why getting back before, we asked whether the brisa is Rabbi or Rabbana. Rabbi and Rabbana machlokas, to what extent is something considered kedarko that you can be mechayev chomesh, right? So therefore, our question is that brisa that said hachoshish b'shina of lo yigma bo'enes hachometz, somebody who what? Yeah, but 1 second. According to Rabbi, it should be mutter. Right. Okay, good. So Rabbi holds anything is kedarko. He's much more liberal on kedarko. So even if somebody gargles, it should be considered kedarko. And that's why it'd be mutter to do this, right? So what?
They're trying to make an analogy between gargling with vinegar on Shabbos for a toothache,
right,
gargling with vinegar
of truma. They be chayav keren or chomesh. But before it said you're not allowed to gargle. No, but the Gemara asks. How can it be going like Rabbi?
How could it be that this behemoth is possible?
Oh, so that's the Gemara's answer. Very good. The Gemara, let's go back there a minute. The Gemara said there, but gameh chometz achar tibula. And it's when it's gargling, derech. When is the gargling the normal derech? We do it toch kedei tibul. As you're dipping your bread, you go, you take a bite and then you go, you gargle. Whatever. I don't be graphic about it. But the thing is that if to make that brisa go like Rebbe, it would have to be talking about Bingambeya at the time of the tibul. Make it go like Rabbanan, or Mechayev you anyway on a case where it's not Kedarko, right? And with all those that I guess is the larger kind of definition of Kedarko, perhaps even. So they would say that even if it's not Lacha Tibulo. That's exactly. Yeah, even if it's not Lacha Tibulo. Even if it's not Lacha Tibulo, so they would also be Mechayev a Keren Chomesh, and therefore they would also be Mechayev.
Okay. The outer one can only use this part.
They allow you to take it for your toothache. Okay, I'm obviously confusing you. Let me go back and do it inside. Okay, it's really very simple, and I'm just confusing you. L'shem confusing you. It's a sinister plot on my part. Let me go back and explain this inside. Okay, Tani. Let's go back to the fifth line down. Tani, you can't gargle with this or imbibe the chometz, the vinegar, and then spit it out. You can gargle it and then swallow it. Masisa Amra Shasalik Mosabol Alivla. Now, following Bryce says he's not allowed to gargle and swallow even. And here we learned that Cheshishina, Sonny has an ache in his teeth. He's not allowed to use vinegar, period, no matter what. Malkadon Oka Rebbe. It's not going like Rebbe. He holds that even Shalom Kedarko is Kedarko. And that's why you have to pay a Keren V'chomesh. Because even if it's not the normal derech, it's sufficiently similar to the normal derech. You have to pay a Keren V'chomesh. And therefore on Shabbos you're not allowed to do it. Because what does it look like? Refuah, right? So if it's either going like Rabbanon, it's either going like Rebbe, or could even call it even like Rabbanon. Now Rabbanon do allow you to take vinegar, right? They allow you to take vinegar, no matter what. They consider it to be kedarko. I know, no matter what. Now I take that back, but they consider they're much more lenient definition of kedarko. So according to Rabbanon, well, would be the case in which it's osir, in which lo yigma bohenes hachometz, only if it's when you're being mekamea after tibulo, after you dipped your bread. According to Rebbe, who says that it's always going to be considered to be derech achila, so even if you're mekamea achar tibulo, even achar tibulo, it still should be okay. It's still considered to be sufficiently kedarko that it wouldn't be mechsek refuah. But according to Rabbanon, we're not as lenient. Rabbanon will say that something is gamei chometz is mamish refuah. So the only time I would say that it's mutter according to them is during the meal. I mean, the only time I would say it's also according to them. Take it back. The only time I say it's also. The only time I say it's also the only time I say it's mutter to use the vinegar is during the course of the meal. After the course of the meal, the vinegar is going to be osir. Again.
Is that on this Mishnah or on the Bryce?
It's on the Bryce.
What is the problem? Can it be Rebbe?
Shaz, whether it's Rebbe or Divrei HaKol.
Certainly it goes according to Rebbe.
Right. Can it even go going like Rabbanon? That's why I'm having such difficulty explaining, because trying to twist around to make it go like Rabbanon. I understand it, but I'm not explaining it well. That's my problem. Let me try one more time. I think you have it. But so let me try again. If you hold like Rebbe that it's always
Basically, it's almost always mutter.
what?
According to Rebbe, it's mutter.
It's always mutter. Even after the meal, it's mutter, right? Because you can guzzle vinegar any time, and that's why you always chayav a keren v'chomesh on it. According to Rabbanan, when's the only time you can guzzle vinegar on Shabbos? During the meal. So the Bryce which the Bryce which says that lo yigma bohenes hachometz, you're not allowed to guzzle vinegar on Shabbos. It's either going like Rabbanan all the time, because Rabbanan hold you're never allowed to guzzle, right? According to Rebbe, you're allowed to guzzle all the time, essentially. When's the only time you're not allowed to guzzle according to Rebbe? When it's outright muchrach that it's refuah. When's the only time it's outright muchrach it's refuah? When is it outright blatant that you're doing it for healing? No. After the meal. Okay? After the meal. So let's do this one more time. The Tzninan, Achoshish B'Shin of Lo Yigma Bohenes Hachometz. You're now to guzzle vinegar. Malkadon, what are we talking about in this Bryson? Okay, Rebbe, it's either going like Rebbe, and you're never allowed to guzzle vinegar, right? You're not allowed to guzzle vinegar not during the meal and not after the meal. Or Divrei HaKol, or it's going like everybody. What? It's going in the Mishnah.
That was the same motion we had up there.
It's not going to Bryce?
Tanina Choshen Shinav. That's Lo Yigma B'Hem HaChometz. That's the words that comes out of our Mishnah.
Oh, that's our Mishnah. Oh, that's our Mishnah. So there is something Taka messed up here.
Raisa says that it's motor. That's certainly Rebbe. Our Mishnah says it's also certainly one of the questions how that could fit in according to Rebbe.
Yeah, no, it's going to the bright side. I started in the middle of the sentence. You're right, the Tznina is our Mishnah, but we're going back on the Brisa. We're going back on Tani. Look back in the fifth line again. Tani, lo yemegameh chometzu poleit. You can't guzzle vinegar and then spit it out. We're going back on that. They're not allowed to guzzle that on Shabbos. Amagameh chometzu poleit. You're allowed to guzzle and swallow. Okay, Masisa Amar Shaslik Mosaliv Law. The Brisa said that this Brisa clearly indicates that it's the Mishnah. This Masnis is the Mishnah. Our Mishnah says Shaslik Mosaliv Law that you're not allowed even to swallow the Tina Choshen Shinav Lo Yigma B'Hem HaChometz. You're not allowed to swallow the vinegar on Shabbos, right? Malkadon. Now what's
by saying that, we were saying that our Mishnah definitely is according to Rabbanan.
Our Mishnah is for sure according to Rabbanan, right? You can never, right? Because it's always Shelo Kedaka. Malkadon is going back in the Brisa. The Brisa said that Lo Yemegameh Chometzu Poleit. You can't spit it out, but you can guzzle and swallow. Who's that going like? It's either going like Rebbe, right? And like Rebbe, you're allowed to swallow, right? You're allowed to swallow. You're just not allowed to spit out. Okay, divrei hakol, or it's going like everybody. B'megameh chometz achar tibulo. And the dichotomy is where it's after the tibul, right? And after the tibul, so then even Rebbe agrees that you're not allowed to. Even Rabbanan agree that it's still.
That's a question. How can it be according to the
And how is that the answer?
The answer is because that makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Usher situation.
You can't kill him based on 1A. Now he wants to open. Maybe he's just bringing other cases. Maybe it's not a question. He's just bringing examples. If it's Rabbi, these are the words of Rabbi. But we use the word.
No, so I forgot the Korbaneda. Korbaneda says after the meal is better. Achar tibulo is better. See, look at the Korbaneda. The Korbaneda says you don't have to look at it. I'll tell you all the time. He says after the meal, the chometz is like a dessert. It's good. Washes it down, right? So that's what he's saying. So then it'd be mutter taka, even according to everybody. Right, it's a dessert. So that's the Brisa's matir when you're going megamea ubolea. So that's either like Rebbe, because Rebbe holds it's always kedarko to swallow vinegar, or it's like Rabbanan, but only after the meal. Because after the meal, after the meal it's better, not worse. That was what's causing his problem. So that works out very well. The Mishnah Asers, Mishnah says you can't swallow. That's for sure like Rabbanan, like you said before. The Brisa says you're allowed to swallow. It says Martia like Rebbe, who says that swallowing vinegar is a derech of eating vinegar, or it's like Rabbanan. And when is it the derech to swallow vinegar? After the meal. Okay, very good. Just forgot that little detail. Rav Obasher Yochanan said, going further again, Rav Obasher Yochanan said, HaKosis chitei truma, somebody who chews a grain of truma gets malchus, like it. Rabbi Avo b'shem Rabbi Yochanan said, now because even that's the same idea what you're saying. It's not kedarko. Chewing is not eating, right? You're chewing and spitting out. But that's very similar to Rebbe, right? Rabbi Yochanan is very consistent with his Rebbe. No, koses is more. Lois means to chew, but it usually means to chew soft stuff. Koses goes on. Lois means. Usually the word lois is used with a soft substance, and koses used with a harder substance. So they mean basically the same thing, though. So name it. Consistent, right? If when you chew wheat and spit it out, you're chayev. That's considered to be. Then you're certainly chayev. Also, if you swallow vinegar, right? You're malchus. Now the thing is like this. There's a catch here. This is a brisa, obviously. It's not like Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbanan say, you chew the grain and don't swallow it, you only pay the principal, not the chomish, because it's not kedarko. Somebody who chews the chitim of truma, you pay the karen, the principal, because it's not kedarko. That's Rabbanan. Rebbe says, I say Shumashan Karen v'chomish, you pay both the Karen and the principal and the chomish. Why? Because he holds it's kedarko, right? So everything is now in order. Rabbi Yochanan is like Rebbe, and then it holds it's kedarko. That's to get malchus, and if you do b'shogeg, you get Karen v'chomish, right? Mazid malchus, shogeg Karen v'chomish. Rabbanan holds it's shelo kedarko. Therefore, if it's mazid, you're potter, right? If it's shoygeg, then you pay the karen, but not the chomesh. Okay? By Mezid, there's no tashlumim. We're not given any, they're not granted any possibility of paying for the truma you ate by Mezid, if it's not kedarko. Okay? Says where Rabbi Yerushalmi Rabbi Ami said, even if it's kedarko, then you would get malchus. There's no payment. Rabbi Yerushalmi Rabbi Ami said, now here it is. Chachamim can see to Rebbe, like we said before. When you're megameh the chometz of truma after you ate, shumashalim karen v'chometz, that you do pay the principal plus an extra fifth. Shachometz miyashiv esanefesh, because after you ate, it's good to down the hatch, to go swallow that vinegar. It's good for you. Okay. Says Gemara, Chevrai b'sher bar bar zavda. New sugya. Rabbi named Rabbi Bar Zavda said, anything from the lips and inwards, Rabbi Nasob Shabbos, because never shall out deal it on Shabbos. Okay, it's all sakonis the pashas. So, Behesi Rabbi Zira has the kasha. For a time, did we learn on cheshishin of somebody who has a toothache, lo yigma ben mechometz, cannot swallow vinegar. For lo min asafel ifnimu is not within the lips. Lo markeh, you're right. Tak, we didn't say it. It's not from the lips. El Rabbi Zir B'Shem Rabbi Boaz Bar Zav said, Kol Shemina Chalov Lifnim. Anything with internal. Internal means obviously below the neckline, right? That's what I would assume. So any internal wound. So Merapi Mosoy Latil on Shabbos. Rabbi Zir Bar Zutra and Rabbi Chayyim B'Shem Rebbe said, Malim Etzim Shorosh B'Shabbos. If you fracture your skull, you can set it on Shabbos. It's Pikuach Nefesh. Literally, you can put the bone back. Bar Marion, Rabbi Yen, Rabbi Zir, and Rava Bar Zutra, Rabbi Chayyim B'Shem Rebbe said, Malim B'Nosas Naim B'Shabbos. You're allowed to put back the daughters of the ears. That's a dislocated jaw. Daughter of the ear. This is the daughter of the ear. So dislocated jaw, you're allowed to put back on Shabbos because also b'koch nefesh. Tamri B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan. There they said name Rabbi Yochanan. Ayin shemor, than eye which rebels against you. So obviously has a terrible ache. Merapi of Shabbos starting on Shabbos. So you know you're allowed to do Mechal Shabbos for eyes. Rav Rabbi Yochanan said, Kabos Yadayim. We had this in the Yush Bavli, and I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now. The back of your hands, the Kabos Raglaim in the back of your feet is sakana. Seems that it's like to do with infection. A wound on the back of your hand is considered to be sakana as the pashas. Okay, go figure. I don't know.
Skin is softer on the back of the hand than it is here. So here it may not penetrate.
Maybe it's more likely to get infected in the back, but that's what we say. Where am I? Rabbi Yochanan said, "Hain simukab." Somebody has a redness. Sakon is dangerous. Vilna said, what do you do for him? Look, Oketzakra Shabbos, you get for him a scorpion still on Shabbos. Rav Amar, Hahen Chamra, to pour wine, Levar Minena, outside one's eyes, and then it'll drip in, Shari. Lego Minena, inside the eye, directly, also it's forbidden. Shmuel, you need to do a shinui. I guess he holds not so consequential, you have to do a shinui. Shmuel Amar, Hahen Rok Tofel, the saliva, a person who has not yet eaten that day, which is particularly powerful, also then Agabi Ayin b'Shabbos, now to put on the Ayin Shabbos because it's healing, unless it's Sakanas Nefashos or Sakanas Ayin, of course. Minat Shama Chazas, from there you hear about the other skin ailments for which they used to use this true refu as well. By the case, they said Hadar Urdana, a certain type of malady which comes in the shape of a frog. I know exactly what it was. Sakana, it's dangerous. Maybe. Rabbi Chizkiya Achia, well, I don't think it's dangerous. Chizkiya Achia b'Shem Rabbanan, the Ketzar said, Hata Achshmunisa Sakana, another type of malady. Amar Shomer Yitzchak Gumarta Sakana, another type of malady. And so it's obviously has to do with heat. And the way to cool down, Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah says Sakana, Nosel of Chametz Pesach, you need to use Chametz on Pesach to cool the guy down, topically. Hain Bala, a person who swallowed an insect, Shari Mifkas B'Shuv Salat, take it out Shabbos. Rabbi Yisrael said, "Masisa can have a mishnah like this. It says, "Machat shayat lita basakot allowed to use a needle to work a splinter loose." So this is no different. To locain, if not that, mabin kotsu mabin bella. If you're not going to say that it's mutter, so what? So how would you justify the distinction between the needle and the glove, right? Or whatever else it takes to get out the swallowed insect. Okay. Find Daina. Shalom Rabbi Yirmiyah. There's a certain case of the the third case where the eye, there was something got stuck in the eye. Hain Daina means something got stuck in the eye. This happened to me once at camp many years ago. I'll never forget that. I actually had a little fly into my eye. And the nurse said, they picked open the lid and used a swab to get it out. So that's can you do that on Shabbos, right? So that's what it says. So I ain't down to Shalom Rabbi Yirmiyah. It's a fascinating thing. They went to ask Rabbi Yirmiyah. So Rabbi Yirmiyah wasn't the rabbi of the city. So Ramali said, "Oh, Rabbi Bo Kamechon, you have Rabbi Bo in your city. Why don't you go ask him?" So Shalom Lei. That's Rabbi Ba. The Shari was Matir. Then Rabbi Yirmiyah said, "Oh, Malon Afa no Shara." Right, I also hold this Matir. But first you have to ask the rabbi in your city. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Hain tzipdona." So, infection of the teeth. Sakana. The Meitchater Eloi died of an abscess tooth. What? The Meitchater Eloi died of an abscess tooth. Yeah. What? An abscess is an infection, isn't it? Yeah. So they died, yeah. Okay. Rabbi Yochanan might say, it's okay. This is brought down the Bible as well. Rabbi Yochanan had happened to him such a thing. And he went to the doctor, a female doctor, from here seeing or a female doctor, the daughter of Demintus in Tveria. And Friday afternoon, as the sun was going down, he went to her. Amar Allah, so he said, I need something for tomorrow. Amar Allah, so she said, "Lo, you don't need anything." However, if you do need something, Sav Galin did tomorrow, take the seed of the pit of a date, which is partially singed, and use that on your tooth. Some say the nekalbus. Take something from a nekalbus. I forgot what that is. It's a certain type of fruit. The Gourmet says, "V'or the sarin," and take the husk of barley. V'tzor the miyunuk yivesha, and the excrement from a child which has become dry. Shchok, grind them all together, would fall and stick them onto your tooth. But don't tell anybody this remedy. The next day he went and he darshened in his drasha. That was his drasha Shabbos morning, this remedy. So each time, some say the Chanukah's nafsha, she suffocated herself. Because I don't know why. I guess her life is not worth living if she can't be the expert doctor in this matter. Some say these guys, she converted to Judaism. Okay? At Shmamina Klos. You hear from these three things. At Shmamina, you hear from this Ayin Tzipudna Chaz Hakono. That this abscess tooth is Hakono, because otherwise he wouldn't have asked her what I should do tomorrow. But Shmamina, you hear also the Komina Shumina Savlifnim, anything within the lips. Because this is a tooth. It's not in the halal, it's not in the bodily cavity, it's in the lips. Rabbi so can heal. And from here you learned also the Ahuda Amar, Rabbi Yaakov Racho Shem Yochanan, Imhaya Rofe Nemon, if the goy was a trustworthy doctor, Mutzi, you're allowed to rely on him, and that's why he relied on the doctor with this remedy and went out and told everybody about it. Rabbi Shimon Levi Havale Kilus. Horinle. Right, he has a certain kilos. He has a certain disease called kilos. Finally, Rabbi Chaim, Rabbi Yosef, so Rabbi Chaim died here and put in old wine. V'yishte and drink it lo yisakin and do not get in danger. Bar Bray, Rabbi Shimon Levi's grandson, Avli Bola, he had he swallowed a fly. As a char barnash v'lachishle, so a certain person came and said an incantation over him. Now Lieberman brings down a girsa which was censored out here. He mumbled him an incantation in the name of Yeshu Pandira. Now Yeshu I know. Pandira, I don't know. This must have to do with the Yiddish. They go Yoshka Pundrik, right? Pundrik, right? So it comes to the Yerushalmi. I don't know what it means, Pandira. And one of the Gersos brings down that Ben Pandira. That sounds like it was his father's name, but I don't know what Pandira means. Lieberman doesn't explain it. What? That's a deer. I don't know what Pandira means. But anyway, so whatever the word means, when you get home, look at Lieberman, see if you can figure out. Yeah. So he healed him via Yoshka. That's exactly how he healed him. So Rabbi Shvinshem, he got better. Kanovik, when the guy came out, the healer, Amar Leitz, so Rabbi Shimon Levi said, Man l'chashle, what did you do to my grandson? Amar Leitz said, Milapal, Yoshka's name, certain word. Amar Leitz said, Noach havli ilu avamayis, velokate. I would have rather my grandson died than been healed by such a remedy. Favelokate, grandson dropped dead. Because it was Shimon Levi's statement was like a inadvertent decree which comes out from the ruler's mouth and it got fulfilled. It's like an iron horn. Yeah. But now with Yoshka. Similar case. Somebody. Yeah.
Some should say it.
Yeah, there's something like that. Masechta Avodah Zarah, I think. Right.
And he didn't want him to.
Right. And the next couple of mices are similar in the Bavli. Rabbi Yaakov Ra'iti B'Shem Rabbi Yonasan said, but kol misapin, to everything you're allowed to heal yourself, chutz mi'avodah zarah, kili arayish shvichas says which has to do with the big three. Right, Pinchas boy Arkadun, he asked, maybe that's only Kshamar Lo, when you said, the Chayla said, Havili Eitzim Me'akum, bring me the wood of Avodah Zarah, and they brought that wood. However, Kshamar Lo Havili Alim, or it should be Eitzim. They said, bring me wood. Stop, without saying which one. They brought him from a guy, from Avodah Zarah. So what's the status of that case? Because you didn't ask for it directly. The Shemini Mados, let's hear from the following case. Rabbi Yonah had some sort of vertigo. They brought him waters or something from the male organ of an Avodah Zarah called Dure. Yes, it was like a spring, like a little Dutch boy. So the water came out from his Brussels, right? Oh, it's not the little Dutch boy?
No, it's Brussels. That's right. Brussels is
it's a little Belgian boy.
It's a little statue,
He's
which is a big
gonna all of a sudden say, of course I was Mekana.
called war urinating.
The low kill.
So here it's about his urinating. Okay? I thought it was Dutch. Alright. Close enough. That's right, man. Alright, you're right. Okay. So now even the Shiva had done. Rabbi sorry. So they brought him for the water from Duri Shata B'Shasa. Rabbi Ach, they brought that water below Shasa. He didn't drink it. Amra Amona Iluyot, Rabbi Yoina, Minan Hava, where Rabbi Yoina know where it was, even though he didn't ask for it to be brought to him from there. But had he known, Lo Ashton would have drunk. So we see, even if you didn't ask for it by name, if they brought it for you, you should refrain from it. Amra B'Chuna said, Mas Nisa Amra Kain. We have Mishnah tell us the following principle: Shem Yisrael Gilead Arayis, one is not allowed to heal oneself from Gilead Arayis. The Tani Kain, and we learned this in a brisa. Leficha Hutar Miklal Shabbos. Because Nefesh is Matir Shabbos. So Hutar Miklal Namrosa, but it's not Matir the prohibition of a woman who's already engaged, affianced to be married. Hutar Miklal Shabbos, Loli Srapois. When it's mutter, well, actually, it means that Hutar Miklal Shabbos, Loli Srapos is when is Shabbos mutter? Is that not going on refuah and healing? Similarly, Hutar Miklal Nara Amarosa. When the case of a woman who's engaged, you're not allowed to use her to heal herself. I feel these Srapos, even to heal herself. What?
I see 2 lines later. It's right at. I see the side mentions Sanhedrin, but it's really out of Psachim.
It's in Psachim too, but it is. I remember Sanhedrin. Yeah, it's also Sanhedrin though. It's also Sanhedrin. So Losov, and this is a famous case. Losov Dover B'Shamar Lo Avei Eishasish. But that time had a guy says, "I need this Eishasish, otherwise I'm going to die." That's not the case. El Afil Shmo is Koila. But even if he says, all I want to do is hear or sing, talk. A certain individual, Rachim Isa. He loved the woman, B'Yomid Rabbi Lezer, and days Rabbi Lezer, Sakini was a Sakana. He's lovesick. Asm Sholei. So they asked Rabbi Lezer, Ma'al Tiaver Kamay V'Yechik, and she passed in front of him and he'll survive. Omar said, you are Musvelo Chet. Let the guy drop dead, not to do that. She won't even pass in front of him, she'll just hear a voice. Army at Musvelo Chet, and let him drop dead. Ma'avos, what was the case? Rabbi Yaakov, Rabbi Yitzhak ben Nachman argued. One says she was a married woman. The other one says she was a spinster. The people holds that she was actually a married woman. I understand why they didn't let him come into contact with her. However, according to people which hold that she was unmarried. Well, Bar Kicha Nagra, I don't understand. There was a similar case with Kicha Nagra, Bar Kicha, the carpenter, Rachim Isa B'Yomid Rabbi Lezer, who loved the woman in the days of Rabbi Lezer, for Sharile, and they were matir. So why not here? Says the Gemara, no, she really wasn't Eishasish, right? Now, the truth is, says the Gemara, you can even say that both cases are unencumbered woman. So that's the case. Why didn't we let the guy have some relationship with her? Because he wanted she got divorced, a widow, and he coveted her while she was still in Eishasish. So therefore, we find him. We didn't even let him have a shaykhus after she became Eishasish. Okay. Vista boy Meimar. Back Einstein mouth. Some say another answer. Fascinating answer. Vista boy Meimar. Isa Rabba Haba. She was a noble woman. He was a Pashta guy. He was a commoner. So therefore, Lo Mitzvah, he would never marry her. So if there would be no matrimony involved, there's no heter to date, right? He wants to date her, right? You want to date her, she's never going to marry you. There's no heter to do that. Okay. Says more further.
It's reminiscent of the case of Shmuel Beis. David's son that wanted to
marry Amnon. Amnon and Tamar.
Yeah.
How so?
He feigned that he was ill, and he said he could only get.
Oh, all right, but similar case, right? There's a forerunner in that case. That's right. So therefore, everything's doing sinistra. Or if you're dating for the purpose of marriage, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But here, he was just dating for the purpose of dating. We don't allow social dating. Okay? Only tachlis, right? It's very anti Upper West Side Gemara. I don't know what they do with this Yerushalmi. That's why they don't learn Yerushalmi in the Upper West Side. Okay, says the Yerushalmi weiter. The key came also. That's why he asked it. We have Mishnah says the following: Shem Yisrael Mishul Soim now to yourself from murder. The time we learned over there, very famous Gemara. Yatzuruba, of the majority of the child came out of the womb. Ain't nogibo, you cannot kill him in order to save the mother. Shein dochen nevish, you cannot cast aside one soul for the other soul. That's, you can't save yourself even for shvichos darim. That is not true. Lo sof davar ba'omer lo shoreg was played. Now it says you're showing an amazing thing. Not just if I tell you kill somebody, that's not okay. Afilu chamos is played now to tell somebody steal some from somebody in order to save yourself. If I tell you either steal from Yanko or I'll kill you, you're not allowed to go steal from him. So Korban Eidah explains because if you go steal, so it's very likely the guy armed robbery. It's very likely to have to murder him. So it's really killing yourself a shvichos damim. But the Lieberman brings down, and the truth is, I'm surprised it doesn't bring down Rashi. So Rashi then says you're not allowed to transgress gezel to save yourself. Pikuach nefesh is not doicha gezel, right? Rashi holds that way. Says I can't steal somebody else's property to save my own soul. So to that the Pashim Shani Yerushalmi holds like that Rashi. That not only can you not kill somebody to save your own soul, you can't even steal from somebody to save your own soul. Okay? Even Gzeil is not mutter for Pikuach Nefesh. It's an amazing concept.
Where's this Rashi?
It's an ender. In the Sugi there, around Dafayin Hay, wherever it is there. Yeah. There is such a Rashi. I can find it for you if you need it. In the Sugi of Lo Samal Dam Recha. Tani. Akum Yisrael Aser. We learned a goy against the Jew is Aser. Now the Gipnei Moshe changes the Girsa and makes it a little bit more palatable. A goy against Atari Akum Ba'akum Aser. It says a goy can't steal from another goy to save his soul. Because one of because all Shev Mitzvah Noach are cardinal by goy, right? So you can't steal. However, Yisrael Ba'akum we're allowed to steal from goyim in order to save our souls. I don't know why that got through the censorship, but that's what it means. Here's the boy. And he could save an adult by killing the kid. Hey, Rabbi Yirmiyah, how can you say this? Our Mishnah says, Liyotza Ruba ain't no gimbo. Shein dochen nefesh and nefesh. If the child has come out of the womb, you can't kill him to save the mother. So you see, you can't save a kid, kill a kid to save an adult, right? Rabbi Yosef Rabbi B'Shem Rabbi Chizah said, Shani Tamon, there it's different. She'enat Yodem Yoreg L'mi. I'm not asking you about such a case. I'm asking you about a classic case of roidif, where a child is pursuing an adult to kill him. Can he kill the kid? So one side is he's a roidif, of course he can kill him. The other side is but why is a roidif killed? Because he's mechuyev in mitzvahs, right? And the mitzvah for him to cease and desist from committing the act of murder. But a cotton, he's not old enough, and he doesn't have the mitzvah of the mitzvah of chin, the mitzvah of. He doesn't have the isra of rodef, right? So it says I have this of rodef. Maybe I'm not allowed to kill him. Maybe I have to leave him alive. That's the Gemara Shiloh. In that case, where a cotton is pursuing a gadol, can you kill the cotton or not? And the Gemara doesn't give an answer. Okay, Ma'aser, it's a good question. Ma'aser Rebbe, I'm sure the nafkamiyah is to Ma'aser Bismana said. Ma'aser Rebbe ben Doma. So Ma'aser Rebbe ben Doma. Shenosh Chonach, she was bitten by a snake. Uboy Yaakov Ish Kfar Sama, who was a missionary, came to Raposo, because here it says on the side, Lieberman, doesn't say it's like, I quoted Lieberman. Lieberman said that he came to heal him, Mishmo Shel Yasha Pandura. He wanted to use Yeshu Pandura, Yashka Pandrik's name to be Merape. Okay, to heal a snake bite. Rabbi Shmuel not allowed him to do it. Amalosei said, Ani mevi raya shirapeno. I bring you proof that he can be allowed to heal him. Lo, I speak. I think that Rabbi Elazar ben Doma was going to bring a raya that it was permissible. Lo, I speak. Lavi raya chemeis ben Doma. There wasn't enough time to bring the raya until Ben Doma dropped dead. Right. Amalei Shmuel, Ashrecha ben Doma. Praiseworthy are you that you're right. How'd you know that? It says on the side there. Yeah. But it doesn't say Yeshu there. No. That's also it's censored out. So Ashrecha Rabbi Shmuel. Ben Doma. He went out from Sholmin Ol, he didn't break the parameters of the Chazal. The Ksivit says, people who break the parameters of Chazal, they're bitten by snakes. Says, well, I understand. He was bitten by a snake. We heard saying his phrase with it. It wasn't bitten by a snake. He was bitten. So it says where Elishalo Yishchenu Nachash Lasi Lavo. It means the spiritual snake did not fight him. Okay, the snake of eternal damnation. So what was the raya which he wanted to bring? The raya he wanted to bring before he died was Asher Yasa Adam Osam Adam V'Chai Bohem. Right? The Chai Bohem means you survive in them, which means it's Pikuach Nefesh is Doicha. But again, as he says, not Doicha is Avodah Zarah, and Yeshua is Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Bar Zabdu Shem Rav said, the game back to our Mishnah. Halach Rabbi Shimon. Halach Rabbi Shimon, all Jews are princes and anybody can use rose oil. What's the proof? The Lo Kain. If not that, Minos and Shemen Ver Lani V'Losach. Have you ever tried giving rose oil to an onion and he said, no, I'm too poor, I can't use rose oil? Of course he's going to use it. So therefore, all Jews are princes and all Jews can use rose oil. Rabbi Zir Rabbi Yasi. Chacham Rabbi L'Bar Pedoya. The Jew Rabbi Yasi, I guess, said this over the name Bar Pedoya. So Rabbi Zira asked him, did you ever know Bar Pedoya? That he's saying over Sugis in his name? How do you know this? So it says the Gemara, Amalei Rabbi Yochanan Amri Mishmo. So he said, I never heard it from him, but I heard from Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan is trustworthy. Similarly, Rabbi Zil, Rabbi Bob Bar Zavta. Chacham Rabbi L'Rav, did you ever see Rav? Da'at Amar Shmutzim in Shmei, that you say Sugis over in his name? Amalei Ravada Barachua Amri Mishmo. So he said, Ravada, but my brother's son said in his name, in other words, and he's trustworthy to me, and therefore I assume that Rav did say it. Okay? What not to Chayav on Shabbos? Kesher Gmalim, a camel driver's not. Kesher Sabonim, a sailor's not. Keshem Chayav a kosher, just like Chayav when you tie them. Kachu Chayav a teretz, so do you Chayav when you untie them. Any knot you can take it with one hand. And Chayav on it because it's not considered to be permanent. What did they tie in the Mishkan? They used to tie the tent cables to the pegs, not tent cables, the curtains, to the rods to keep them in place. As for Rav Shlomo, so wasn't it temporary? I've had this about 4 times already in the Yerushalmi. Rabbi Yosef became a shiur nice since they would travel and stop based on the word of God. It's as if they were camped eternally. Yeah, you think they would. Rabbi Yosef said no. Became a chief tichon amokum shumach Israel, since God has promised staying in Eretz Yisrael. The whole time is temporary, so that's not a good raya, because they were constantly on the move to Eretz Yisrael, even when they were stationary. Alright, Pinchas says this also we had. They learned from the people who darned who knit the curtains. Nifsak, if a thread snapped, kosher, they would tie it. Chaz of a nifsak, if it snapped again, lasuk sharm you can't make 2 knots one on top of each other because they're very thick threads. It'll come out and be obvious, right? El chayzim decision in that case, you would take out the first one, right? In order to make in order to make one knot to splice the edges together, right? So you wouldn't make 2 knots in close proximity, you'd splice. So we see here that they were kosher and matir in the Mishkan. Rabbi Chizkiah said, Hayin chayta umna, a person who's an expert tailor, mavla train ratio, instead of tying, he takes the ends of each thread and invisibly weaves them together. It was skill, so that it can't be told that there was a rip in the garment there. Okay? You know what, we'll leave this for